Raised in hell. You have no control of the family you're born into. You have no control of the environment that you're forced to be raised in. But you can control how that environment will affect you. You just have to play with the hand that's been dealt to you. I wasn't dealt a great hand. Some might say I was dealt a pretty crappy hand. And it looked a little something like this. Card number 1, alcoholic mother. Card number 2, no father. Card number 3, poverty. Card number 4, in and out of foster home. You got a wild card. Wild card, good. Wrong place, and even worse location. Los Angeles, California, during the mid-80s. The heart of the crack epidemic. What a hand. Alcoholism would be the catalyst to provide a stressful, dysfunctional upbringing for a young man growing up in this environment. My mother's drink of choice was called a screwdriver. Anybody know what a screwdriver is?
Yeah.
Vodka and what? Orange juice, right? Now as a kid, I didn't know vodka is clear and it don't have no smell to it. So I would think that it was this orange juice that had her losing her damn mind. She would be cussing people out, throwing knives at people, turning over front. What is in this orange juice that's got her twisted like this? Is it Donald Duck orange juice? What is in this orange juice? I didn't know what alcoholism was. All I know was my mom would drink this orange juice and become a completely different person. A metamorphosis would take place, like Jekyll and Hyde. This sweet, nurturing woman would then turn into an angry, belligerent, sometimes violent human being, and very powerful, surprisingly, turning over furniture and refrigerators. What is in this orange juice? I would be over my cousin's house, and I had this phobia of orange juice all of a sudden. I hated orange juice. They tell you want some orange juice? No, I'm slapping out of people's hands. No, it's bad for you. Get that stuff out of here. My uncle would be at my uncle's house. He'd say, hey, you want some orange juice? Hey, good. My uncle looked at me and said, I don't know what's wrong with this boy. Something ain't right. But if he pour out one more carton of orange juice, I'm going to choke the hell out of him. That was my condition. So my environment and my motivation became that I got to improve my situation. That alcoholism from the mother resulted in instability. Alcoholism also was coupled by incarceration, also nursed on the welfare system in an unhealthy health situation, could not provide stability for a young man. So naturally, there was poverty. There was poverty. So some of the basic things that most people need, they escape me. Some basic things such as having lunch to go to school. Most of my classmates would have nice juice boxes, sandwiches with the beautifully nicely cut pieces of fruit. What I would have, powdered eggs, powdered potatoes, powdered milk, all this powdered stuff from going to school, nothing solid. Going to school every day with this powdered stuff. Even the teachers and instructors began to get suspicious. They thought it was a 10-year-old drug deal. What the hell are you doing with all this powder stuff? What is this, dope? No, this is my lunch. Relax. This is what I had to deal with. Also, holidays, which are supposed to be joyful, became stressful and unjoyful. Halloween. Most kids would have, with a mother with not resources, being poor made you very resourceful. So she was very creative. So Halloween couldn't afford to get no costumes, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Dracula, all these great costumes. What would I have? She would go in very creatively, get a brown paper bag, shove it on my head and poke holes in it. That was it. Good luck. Go ahead. And one of the holes would be bigger than the other one, of course. I have like a gravy stain on the back of mine. It was pretty pitiful. Go on out, do what you got to do on those things. The clothes was already raggedy. So and somebody would always ask me, Deon, who are you supposed to be? And I snapped back. I'm a pissed off kid with a welfare costume on. Leave me alone. Holidays, bad. Christmas, we lived in the projects. Not having a stable employment, of course, we were nursed on the welfare system. So we lived in a housing project in Los Angeles, and they very generously gave away Christmas trees in a box. And they gave all these poor families a Christmas tree, and the Christmas trees where you would have to screw in the arms every year, and over time, people would lose the arms, of course. So About got of age, by the time Christmas got there, it was just a pole with a few arms sticking out looking like this Christmas. Talk about a pitiful looking Christmas tree. Charlie Brown would look at that Christmas tree and say, damn, that's an ugly tree. So, and of course, so the best gifts we have came out of the Cracker Jack box, unfortunately. So unfortunately, that was my childhood. And as we gravitated toward middle school, knowing exactly the critical time of a child's life is fashion. I'm going to school, middle school. So being a creative person and having limited resources, my mother, sweetheart as she was, when she wasn't on them screwdrivers, she would buy me shoes at the same place she would get grocery. That's a fashion no-no. You don't get shoes and grocery at the same location. But when you limit your resources, so I would get these shoes. These were backwards Nikes. They were called Eakins. They were backwards and upside down Nikes called Eakins. So it was the swoosh. Swoosh normally goes up for Nikes. These shoes, the swoosh was going down, and I didn't know. I was dyslexic anyway, so the shit looked normal to me. So my brother tried to warn me. He said, you're not going to wear those to school. I said, yeah, I thought I was a man. I didn't know they were backwards. I stepped foot on campus. The first step on the yard. Hey, Deon got some upside down Nikes. About 9 to 10 kids followed me around, teased me, harassed me for all day long. So I finally got tired, slapped one kid in the mouth, and ran home. Took those shoes off. I hated my mother. I hated what she had put me through. I took those shoes off, dumped them in the garbage can, and walked home barefoot for the rest of my ride home. Told her that, hey, what happened to your new shoes? Somebody stole them. Now, why would she believe that? Who in the hell gonna steal some upside down backwards Nikes? But she bought it, right? If it wasn't the backwards Nikes, I learned later, I also got Pro Kids. If you remember back in the day, Pro Kids were also, they were imitation too. Pro Kids had 2 stripes. So what I would do, not wanting to get trashed again, I would draw give me a Sharpie and draw an extra stripe so they would look like Adidas. I had to be creative. I wasn't gonna get clowned again. So I would literally paint an extra stripe so these Pro Kids would look like Adidas, a little more fashion. And I was smart about it, so I kept moving so nobody would get a good look at my Hey, Deon, what's going on? Hey, how's it going? I never stood still. I want nobody to look at these homemade as Adidas. I had to be smart about it. So I could not wait. My motivation became, I cannot wait to get on my own so I can get the hell out of LA somehow, some way. So it happened. 1984, I'm in high school now. I got my first job. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Olympic Boulevard. I got my first paycheck. First thing I bought for my first paycheck was a fashion trend, a fashion statement everybody wanted. It was a big, puffy starter jacket. I got a bright red 76er starter jacket, which would be a mistake, as I will find out later. So I'm getting this jacket. My next couple of paychecks, I got me a pair of real Nikes, not Eakins. And I had, my first paycheck was cash. My second one, I had money in my pocket. I had $71.55. I will never forget it. I had cash money, and I was working a clothing ship at KFC. So I also had me a nice small box of chicken. I was feeling good. Give a brother money, a jacket, and some chicken. What else you need? You good. I was feeling good. I'm getting on the bus. I didn't know where I was. RTD bus, Los Angeles, California. Wrong place to be. We had just moved into a new neighborhood, which is another no-no. You don't ever want to be in a new neighborhood in the South Central Los Angeles. You're a target. Here I am coming down, RTD bus, big old red 76ers jacket. And when I get into this neighborhood, who do I see at the bus stop? The notorious gang member named Moon. Moon was a bad news guy. This guy was jack anybody, little kids, old people, crippled people, mailman, his relatives. He didn't give a damn. So I knew when he saw me with this red jacket on, I was in trouble. He gets on the bus. There was about 8 or 9 people on the bus. Now my heart is beating. I'm like, what's going on here? My tension is going up. I'm feeling anxiety. Moon gets on this bus. And I know he's coming back. He comes back to the bus. He comes up to me. What up with red jacket, cuz? I said, man, back up off me. Wait a minute. Set my chicken down. What? Back up. And he grabs me and he pulls back and he pulls up his shirt. And he's got a gun. Now, always, in that time, you hear about people getting shot, drive-by, killed all the time. That was always at the back of my mind. This is how I'm going out on a bus. Gets a gun, he pulled up and showed me this revolver. And I retreat, I freeze. It was the oldest gun you ever seen. Old revolver. It looked like it was the first rustiest gun that's ever made. But I didn't want to take no chances. So I froze. And he did what he did. Took my money, took my jacket. He even took my chicken, which was kind of dirty. If you're going to jack somebody, at least leave them something to eat. Took the chicken, and from that moment on, I was ever more paranoid. I was paranoid about walking down the street. I was paranoid about getting on the bus. I was paranoid about where I wore. And again, the emphasis was, Deon, you got to get the hell out of LA, somehow, some way. From that moment on, I was very conscious about what I wore and what I did at all times. When I got out of school, I was an athlete. I played basketball and football, but I could not live in the neighborhood where my school was because we lived on the other side of town. It was always moving. So when I got on that bus, it was about a 45-minute bus ride. Took about almost an hour. I had to literally change clothes when I got on that bus ride because I could not wear red because of the game, couldn't wear blue because of the games, couldn't wear black either. I just started wearing plaid. I wear plaid every day. I had plaid, size plaid. I wasn't taking no chance. Ain't no plaid games around there, is it? I had to live like that. So on this bus, when I'm wearing plaid, to make sure I'm safe, I'm watching my every move, head on a swivel, heart beating all the time, paranoid all the time. Again, I hated what my mother put me into. I hated the environment that I was in. How am I going to get out of this situation? Once I got to my home on 80th and Hoover, which is one of the worst neighborhoods in the world, in the area, I would have to literally sneak down the alley because in my street that I lived on was one of these drug gangs, and they was waiting around the neighborhood in front of my apartment complex on the same block. So even though I lived there, I never went down that street. I had to literally sneak down there. So I'm on the bus, fearing every stop as I get closer and closer to my stop. Paranoia kicks in, anxiety kicks in, I'm hyperventilating. I'm wondering where other people are going. I wish I could be like those people. They're coming home from work, going to nice homes. I was just so paranoid. I got to get off and risk coming down a gauntlet of haters and murderers every day just to get home. And my teachers are saying, hey, you got to study for homework. You got to study for a test. You got to practice the SAT test. You got to turn in this final. All I wanted was, I just want to get home without getting killed. That was my challenge. So walking through this neighborhood, what the hell am I going to do? Every time before I cut down that street, when I got off this bus, I'm wondering, how am I going to elude these guys and get home? If they saw you in a new neighborhood, good luck. People getting killed for less. Wrong place, wrong time. I see them down the street. I creep through an alleyway. Before they recognize me, I'd rather take my chances in darkness, a smelly, dark, pissy alley, than to take my chances being risked in an environment with these would-be haters and these violent young men. Finally, if I do make it down to my apartment complex, I creep in on the ground floor on 80th and Hoover, and I pass a dumpster where just months ago there was a young female that was left in the dumpster, beaten, stabbed, and burned alive in this very dumpster. A scene that made national news right here in the complex that I live in. I would tap on that dumpster, creep in at 8 or 9 o'clock. As I get to the opening of the apartment complex, ground floor, I smell fried chicken homemade. Now my heart smiles a little bit, and reality kicks in. You know damn well that ain't coming from your house. So reality kicks in, and I enjoy the smell. I just stand there and just smell it for a little while. Then I keep on going. I get to my apartment on the ground floor. I open the door and I see my mother laying down. That condition, she was out of it as usual. The condition of alcoholism had completely consumed her. I would throw a blanket over her, proceed to my bedroom that was facing Hoover Boulevard, the notorious Hoover Boulevard in Los Angeles, where everything went down, drug dealing, prostitution, You can buy and sell anything. And that was my outside bedroom window. As I would do every other day when I come home, I would have to go through that same routine. Once instance, I went there several nights before. I sit down and I hear the familiar sounds of gunshots in the background. That is not unfamiliar in that particular area. It was almost as common as hearing a car horn or a car screeching. I almost got used to it. But this one was a little bit more potent, a little bit closer. Right outside my window. And all of a sudden I hear a commotion outside. I hear a voice, a young male's voice. And it gets closer. And I had the nerve to look out my window and I see this young man and just collapsed right under my window. He had been shot. I hear him grunting. All of a sudden I hear other people coming to his aid. Soon I hear more emergency vehicles coming. I was frozen. Right outside of my window, this is happening. And as I took my breath away, I went back and revisited. I was scared to go out and said, let me see what's going on out there. As I looked out my window for the final time, I saw the emergency vehicles putting a tarp over this young person, pronouncing him dead at the scene. Here's that a young man who's not going home, been shot on the street for whatever reason. That could have been me. That was my fear every day coming home. Having to worry about making it home, just like that's what the environment was. After that, it really elevated again, the emphasis, Deon, once again, that voice. You got to get the hell out of LA, somehow, some way. Going on to school in an environment, what I had to navigate around social issues was the peer pressure of avoiding some of these environments. After a high school football game, and I know in my environment, the worst and most vicious gang in Los Angeles at the time was called the Rolling 60s. So after a football game, my peers, as we try to navigate through this high school year, senior year, they said, let's go to an event, let's go to a party. And I was always a scary kid, and I didn't mind being scary because fear is a protection. So I realized that if I'm scared of something, I'm protection. I'm fearing something, I protect something I fear. All right? So I always used to run from stuff. So I wasn't afraid of stuff. I would run. And I said, you can't run from everything, Deon. And somebody said, well, take karate. I took karate one time, and they said, okay, good, that'll protect you. But everybody started carrying guns. Karate's no good when everybody else is carrying guns. So I would keep running. I run from everything. They said, no, karate's good. Karate's the oldest known defense. Oldest known. Nothing's older than karate. Empty hand. And somebody said, well, it ain't older than running. So I took that to heart. So anytime I had some trouble, I would just run. So when they asked me where this party was, my first question was, where's the party? The party's on 54th Street. Really? Well, I ain't the smartest fella in the world, but 51st Street is pretty close to 60. I ain't going. I ain't going. You can call me what you want to. Deon, you scared, you punk, you pussy, you this. You can call me whatever you want to, but you're going to call me still alive. I'm not doing no party on 54th Street in Los Angeles. I'm done. But they all went. Called me all kind of punks and scared. But I will say, I took all that, went home, and within 2 hours from that very event, I'm sitting down, made it through my gauntlet of fear, avoided the gang members from the front yard. I made it to my place of rest, and I did not sleep on that bed that I saw the young man die in front of. I'm sitting on that bed, and I didn't sleep on it. I raised the mattress up. And I was sleeping in front of it. I never slept on that bed again after that incident, seeing that young man get shot. Because I was afraid of a bullet coming through the street. Slept on the floor with the mattress tilted up. As I'm sitting there, news flash. What happened? Breaking news. There was a shooting at a resident. Wouldn't you know it, someone had shot up a party with a bunch of high schoolers, the very party that I was just invited to. Apparently some of those Rolling 60s had rolled up to this party on 54th Street. They got turned away, and somebody turned them away, and they came back and shot up the party. About 5 or 6 kids were killed, and several of them were injured. To this day, it's called the 54th Street Massacre. And I would have been right there if I hadn't been afraid to fear. Once again, Deon, you got to get the hell out of LA somehow, some way. It wasn't the gang members, it was the crack addicts. And crack was another issue. In the same situation, I'm in my home, minding my own business. My mother is strong in her usual spot. She's in the bed, and I get up to use the bathroom. She's fast asleep, and I hear some movement in the house. It's only us here. And I'm groggy because I'm asleep, 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, what the heck is going on? And my mom is sitting there asleep. Who in the hell is in my kitchen? Now I went from curiosity to fear, and I'm paranoid. What the hell? I call down the baseball bat. And I'm creeping toward the kitchen as the noise got louder. I'm wondering, what the hell is going on here? Creep around. I look into the kitchen area. Open up, lights come on. And I see the neighborhood crackhead had broken in my house. He's in the kitchen cooking an omelet like he lived there. He had cheese and eggs and I was impressed. I'm like, what the hell? I almost asked him to make me one before he left. I chased this man out of my house. And what the hell are you doing in my house? I'm running down here and I'm chasing. I put that bat down. I was going to beat the shit out of this guy if I could catch him. But he validated the myth. Don't ever underestimate the quickness of a crackhead. Once again, Deon, I walked back to my house. The wind hit in my face. I had no shoes on. I'm like, bruh, you gotta get the hell out of LA. Somehow, some way. Graduation comes soon enough. I can't wait to graduation. I finally navigated through everything, and I'm near graduation. A week before graduation, I received the most powerful document of my life at that time. My acceptance letter at San Francisco State University. My other document was a one-way bus ticket for my older brother who was living up in the Bay Area from Los Angeles to San Francisco. These are two of the most powerful documents. I slept with him. I kept him with me at all times. I never let him out of my sight. It was like a slave when they got their emancipation. I was going to be free. I was going north, and I was going to be free. I kept these documents with me. You did not part with them. I kept them on my person for 2 weeks. I slept with them. I bathed with them. I did it all. June 4th, 1986, graduation. Los Angeles Coliseum, 500 Dorsey High graduates. Everybody celebrating, throwing up hats. Deon, what are you going to do? We free. We're in LA. We graduates. We going to do? What we going to do? I said, I don't know what y'all going to do, but I'm getting the hell out of LA. I did not stop. I didn't pass go. I kept everything I owned. I didn't even go home after that. I went from the LA Coliseum to the bus station. Before the hat hit the ground, I was on my way. Everything I owned was 18 years of my life was in one backpack. All I had was in that backpack was my emancipation papers, my freedom papers. I had a pack of cookies. I had some drawers. And I had some real Adidas with 3 stripes. Finally, I had to make my way out of LA. And finally, I found a way. I'd like to dedicate this message, this presentation to my mom. We just had a memorial for her over the weekend. She passed away about a week or so ago, and we had this. I'd like to dedicate to her. Thank you guys for listening.